Hello YouTube yogis, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today I'm going to take you through a special Yin to Vinyasa class that is themed around the season of Libra. So this class we're going to be focusing on kind of the characteristics that are commonly found throughout the Libra season and also throughout the sign of Libra. So Libra is represented by the scales. So there's this idea of balance. It's ruled by Venus. So there's this element of beauty, finding beauty in the world. And also Libra really is encouraging us to balance out the me with the we. So its opposite sign is Aries, which is a sign that is very focused on itself, not so much in a selfish way, but in a way of really trying to understand yourself and understand who you are, whereas Libra is about taking that sense of who you are and balancing it with your community and interacting in your community from that authentic place, but in a way that is respectful and just, and there is that Venus attribute of beauty and love, and so in a way that is compassionate, in a way that is fair. And so if you are a Libra, happy Libra season. This class is especially for you. This class is also just great if you're trying to work on balance, not just balance in your body, but balance in your mind, balance in your energy. And that is the reason that we are practicing both Yin and Vinyasa today. So I really enjoy practicing in this way of starting with Yin poses and then picking up the pace and moving more so into a Vinyasa flow. Because for the sake of time, we're going to be holding our Yin poses for only 3 minutes each, and we're not going to do as many today. Today's class is going to be a little bit longer than the other classes on my channel, but I hope that you enjoy it. And we're just going to go ahead and get started right away in reclined butterfly. So start to make your way down onto your back. Today I have blocks with me. You might have blocks, you might have some other prop, or you might not be using any props at all. That's great. I just like to have blocks nearby. And so whenever you get onto your back, start to walk the soles of the feet together, let the knees go apart. In your reclined butterfly, your first Yin pose. Start to soften your breath. Soften your body into the support of your mat. And with the start of a new astrological season, as far as the sun is concerned, you might use the Yin portion of this practice to set an intention for the next 4 weeks or so. Maybe in this theme of creating balance, or balancing out yourself with your community, how much you give and how much you take. And start to let your legs be even heavier, like gravity just open up through the hips and the thighs. Take another breath in through your nose here. And exhale, start to let your hands come underneath your thighs. Help the legs close like a book, gently bringing them back together, soles of the feet to the mat. Notice how your hips feel in neutral before we go to the next pose. And then our next pose is a reclined swan. So you can cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Let the right knee drift away from you and soften through the muscles of your right leg. And then start to draw your left leg in, holding on anywhere to the back of your left leg or the front of your left shin. Or maybe it feels better for you today to keep the left foot down. That's also an option. And working with this idea of balance, notice if there's any places that you're still holding on to tension, still doing effort. See if you can balance out that amount of effort with the amount of ease that you feel in your body. Not working too hard, but not going to a place that is difficult for you to sustain. Take one more breath in this pose. Use your exhale to release. So if you're holding on to the leg, let the left foot come back down to the mat, and then uncross your right ankle from your left thigh. And it might feel good to walk the feet a little bit wider than the hips and just let the knees drop side to side a couple of times. Not moving at light speed, moving really mindfully. And then when you come back through center, walking the feet back in line with the hips, and we'll just take that same pose on the other side. So your left ankle will cross over your right thigh, soften the muscles in the leg, draw your right leg in if that's the option you're taking today. Hold on to that leg wherever is accessible for you. Again, thinking about balance. Notice in your hips if there is a difference between this side and the previous side. And try not to force yourself to be completely even. It's natural for there to be a little bit of an imbalance between flexibility and mobility from side to side. And just being observant. Take another breath in. Exhale and let go of the pose, unwinding the same way that you came in. No rush, no hurry. Once again, once you have both feet on the mat, it might feel good to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And just notice if there's any other movements that your body is asking for. And then next time your knees go over to your left, roll over onto your left side. Use your right hand in front of you and press your way up to a tabletop pose. And then from here, walk your knees back, lower your hips and your belly down, elbows underneath the shoulders, Sphinx pose with half frog. Bend your right knee out to the right. Soften through your glutes. Soften into the support of your shoulders. You can release your head down, or some people do like to use a block underneath their forehead. And then softening into this next pose. And so part of this idea of balance that we're going to be working with, especially as we move into the Vinyasa portion of practice, is the connection between the parts of you that are touching your mat and how that allows you to rise up, how that supports you in remaining balanced. So there's an element of grounding here that I want you to connect to as well. Libra is an air sign, has a lot of thoughts going on in their head, perhaps. Maybe you have a lot of thoughts going on in your head at this time. And so also using this practice to quiet down, connect to the essentials, and get clear on what balance means for you. And for the last few breaths here, let's open the elbows out, stack the palms, and let the head rest down on the backs of the hands. So the shoulders get a little break. And then start to slide your right leg back in line with your right hip. And then we're just going to do that pose on the other side. So prop yourself back up onto your forearms. Find that softness into the shoulders, and then bend the left knee out for half frog on the other side. Maybe you let the head be heavy if that is okay in your neck. Feel the connection to all of the parts of you touching your mat. And start to bring some more awareness into your breath. With Libra being this air sign, one of the greatest ways that we can channel the air energy within us is through our breath. And again, for our last few breaths on this side, let's open the elbows out and then rest your head on stacked palms, letting the shoulders take a rest, feeling the release there, still opening into the hip. And then start to slide your left leg back. From here, let's slide the hands underneath the shoulders, press down through the hands and away from the mat into tabletop pose. And then from here, we'll start to move a little bit more swiftly, a little bit more in alignment with the breath coming into the Vinyasa portion of this practice. And so we'll start by just kind of starting to open up the muscles in the back and the front of the body. Inhaling for your cow pose, lifting your tailbone, drop your belly, pull your heart forward and look forward. Reach up through your chin, feel that stretch in the front of your throat. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your tailbone, drop your head down. Inhale in for cow. Exhale out for cat. Breathing in for cow. Breathing out for cat. 2 more with your breath. Inhale back to neutral. Step your right foot out to the right. So the sole of the foot is down on the floor next to your mat. The camera might cut this off a little bit, but my whole foot is firmly planted onto the mat with the right leg extended. Now you're going to thread your left arm underneath your body, resting down onto the left shoulder, letting the left side of your head rest down on your mat. Your right hand can rest next to your face, taking a little bit more of a twist here, pressing down into that right hand, or you can see how it feels to reach your right hand towards the top of your mat. Breathe in this variation of thread the needle. Feel all of the earth beneath you, all of the support of the earth beneath you. Allow that to help you find a sense of balance here. One more breath in on this side. Exhale, slide the right hand back, press down and away from the earth, back into tabletop pose. Other side, your left foot will step out, and then you thread the right arm underneath your body, resting down on the right shoulder, letting the right ear drop down to the mat. Left hand can press down to create more of a twist, or you can reach the left hand up. Breathe. One more breath in and out. Breathing, bringing your left hand back, press down to come back around to your tabletop pose. Hands under the shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and then we'll also come into a puppy pose from here. So I need to walk back a little bit to have the length of my mat. You're going to make sure that the hips stay right over the knees, and you're going to extend your arms forward and drop your elbows and your forehead down to the mat. Opening up the front of the body even more. Draw the navel in and up just slightly, just enough to keep this connection to core. One more breath in. Exhale, lift your head, walk your hands back into table. Tuck your toes under from puppy into downward dog. Lift the hips up high and back, reach down through the heels, reach out through your arms, release the weight of your head. Because this is our first downward dog, you might like to alternate the bend of the knees, start waking up the backs of the legs, getting into the hamstrings. And breathing in a way that feels good to you. From here, continue this walking motion in your legs, if you were using that, to walk yourself closer to your hands until you're in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Release your weight of your head. Let the upper body be heavy. Allow for a bend in the knees if that feels good to you. And then widen your feet. Wider than the width of your hips slightly. Toes point outward, heels point in. Drop down into the hips, bend the knees. Malasana, yogi squat. Your elbows can come to the insides of your knees and your thighs. Hands can come to prayer at heart center if that's available to you. You also have the option to keep the finger pads down or to bring blocks or a rolled blanket underneath your heels. So still warming up a little bit here, moving a little bit more swiftly. From here, we're going to make our way into our first main flow. So bring your hands down to the mat, lift your hips just a little bit, and then step your right foot back into a lizard lunge. From your lizard lunge, heel toe your left foot in line with your left hip. And this is where I'm going to bring blocks in underneath my hands to raise the earth up a little bit closer to me. If you do not have blocks, then you can just simply have your hands down or your fingertips down on the floor. Lower your right knee down. And then we're going to walk the blocks back in space. Inhale, shift the hips back in space, straighten the front leg, flex back through the toes, half splits. Stay nice and long through your spine. Feel that stretch in the back of the legs. One more breath in. Exhale, walk the blocks forward. Roll through the front foot, stack the knee over the ankle, tuck the back toes under again. Lift the back knee. Start to squeeze everything into the midline. I'm going to walk my right foot in just slightly. Navel drawing in and up. And then we reach the arms forward and up. High lunge. Lunging into the front knee. The back heel is lifted. You might put a little bend in the right knee to make sure that the hips are right underneath your shoulders. Maybe you challenge your balance by looking towards your hands. And if you fall out, that's okay. We don't know where our limits are until we challenge them. From here, inhale, lean the upper body forward and send the arms back like you're pressing the palms into a table. Airplane. Breathe. Now from here, I'll give you the option if you want to bring your fingertips back down onto those blocks, you can. We're going to walk this right foot in a little bit. Feel this energy from your right heel to the crown of your head. Try to bring your upper body and that right leg into the same plane of alignment. And then we're going to see how it feels to take flight. In Warrior 3, press up off of that right foot, straighten out the left leg, and think about trying to bring your upper body and your leg parallel to the floor, but not to the point that you fall out of the pose, still wanting to keep your upper body and leg in alignment to one another. Take one more breath in. Exhale, step the right foot back, and then open your right leg out, right foot out, 2, warrior 2. Keep lunging into this left knee. Open your arms out into a T shape. Look over your left fingertips. On your next inhale, right hand comes down. Flip the left palm. Reach it up and back, peaceful warrior. Exhale to stay here. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, triangle. Dip the left hip down. Reach the left hand forward and down, maybe to your shin if you're not using a block. Or maybe you bring the left hand onto a block to the outside of the left leg and reach the right hand into the air. Maybe you look towards your right thumb. Breathing here. Challenging our balance one more time in this little flow. Start to look down towards your left foot and towards your left hand a little bit. Bend into the left knee. You can bring your right hand to your waistline or to your hip. I'm going to take the block with my hand just a little bit ahead of my left foot. Walk the right foot in slightly. We're headed towards half moon pose. You're going to shift the weight forward into the left foot, into the left hand. See if you can reach that right leg up, 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 while keeping the hips facing towards the right. Stacking the right hip on top of the left. Gazing at something that's not moving in front of you. See if you can roll your right shoulder back. I'm shaking quite a bit here, so if you're shaking, it's okay. Be brave. See if you can reach that right hand into the air. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step the right foot back, landing however you land. Bring both hands back to the blocks and then move the blocks out of the way and we'll take a little flow. So plant the palms, step the left foot back. In your plank pose, you can keep your knees lifted or lower to the ground. On an exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here, take a little rest. From here, inhale, look towards your hands. Once again, walk your way into a forward fold at the top of your mat, and then widen the feet apart and squat down into your yogi squat, malasana, hands to heart center. Reaching up through the crown of the head, letting the hips be heavy, but still lifting up through the pelvic floor a little bit. And take a little rest here in your malasana yogi squat. Notice how it feels to have both feet firmly planted after all of those balancing poses. And try to let go of what happened on that side. And just letting this next side be completely unique. Starting with a clean slate. So from here into our low lunge, bring your hands down to the mat, lift the hips a little bit, step your left foot back into this lizard lunge. The left leg is extended, we're bending into the right knee, and then you can pop your hands up onto your blocks. If you're using them, heel toe your right foot into this low runner's lunge. Right away here, start to feel the energy from your left heel to the crown of your head. Let's lower the back knee and get a little bit more into the hamstring as we shift the hips back, walk the blocks back, straighten the front leg, half splits, staying long through the spine. Taking another breath in. Exhale, roll through the front foot, walk the blocks forward, tuck the toes again, lift the back knee into our high lunge. Reach the arms forward and up, Shoulders over the hips. Maybe put a little bend in that left knee. Start to feel everything squeezing into the midline of the body. Feel the stability in your core. Now let's move into those airplane arms, leaning the upper body forward over the right thigh, reaching the arms back and imagining that you can press your hands down into a table, imagining this resistance. And again here, you're welcome to bring your fingertips to the blocks. I'll show you on this side what that looks like. And then you can walk your left foot in a little bit. Try to bring your upper body and your leg in alignment to one another as you shift the weight into the right leg. Lift the left heel away from the mat. Reach the crown of the head forward. Warrior 3. And so maybe you're here with the hands on the blocks, or maybe you take flight, hands reaching back. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands can come to the blocks to help. You set that left foot back. You turn on the back foot, cartwheel the arms open, warrior 2 on the other side. Lunging into our right knee. Left toes are pointing to the long edge of the mat. Arms reach out, looking over the right fingertips. Find some ease here amidst the effort. Let's inhale, left hand down, flip the right palm, lean back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Inhale here. Exhale, triangle. Reach the left hand forward, let that right hip kick down. Reach for a block, or let the right hand come down onto your right thigh or shin. Maybe you reach your left hand into the air. Maybe you look up towards the left thumb. From here, look down towards your right foot, right hand. Bring the left hand to the hip, moving into half moon on this side. Bend into the right knee. Heel toe that left foot in a little bit. Bring the block under your left hand slightly ahead of your left foot, ahead of your right foot. And then we're going to shift the weight forward into the right foot, into the right hand just a little bit. Squeeze the left glute to bring that left leg up. Flex through the left toes. And so your gaze may still be down on something that's not moving to keep balanced. Again, if you fall out of any of these poses, it's okay. You just come back to where you feel stable. Think about leaning the left shoulder back, stacking your left hip over your right one. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that left foot back down in any way that makes sense to you. Plant your hands to the mat. Step the right foot back, and we'll move into our flow. So if last time you put the knees down, maybe see if you can challenge yourself a little bit. Keep the knees lifted. Exhale to the ground. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. And breathe. On your next exhale, lower your knees. Sit the hips back to child's pose. Melt your heart down. Amazing job. Feel gratitude for your body for helping you do all of that good work. Let's start to slow down our practice even more as we make our way closer to Shavasana. Just a couple more poses to get set up there. So inhale, lift your head, look towards your hands, and exhale, come forward into table again. And then we'll just turn ourselves around and lay down onto our backs once again. And you can reach your arms out to the sides. Feel that gentle opening through the chest, the shoulders. And we'll draw the right knee in. Maybe you hold on to the right leg with the left hand. Extend your left leg long. And guide that leg across your body into a twist, keeping the right arm out beside you. Breathe into your ribs and your chest. Use your next inhale to roll back through center, and then just switch out the legs. Left knee comes in, right leg goes long, right hand over your left knee, and then guide your left leg over to the right. Again, breathe into your left side ribs, breathe into the collarbones. Take another breath in. Exhale, release back to constructive rest. And you might stay here for your Shavasana, or you might extend the legs long. I think I'll just stay right here. Let your mind quiet down. Allow your breath to simply return to its natural pace, not forcing the breath at all. Just let it happen. Soften the tongue and the mouth, soften the jaw. You might swallow to release any tension in the throat. And let your body be heavy. You'll hear my voice when it's time to come out. Enjoy your rest. Remaining as you are, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. As you feel ready, wiggle your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe eventually you reach the arms overhead and stretch out long, breathing in. And exhale, soften and let go. Roll yourself over to whichever side is most comfortable for you and press your way up to a comfortable seat. And as you arrive in your seat, sit up tall through your spine, soften your eyes one more time, and just check in with how you feel. Recall any moments of clarity, any messages of wisdom from that higher place within. And as you're ready, bring your hands in front of your heart space. And we'll close by taking a breath in and letting it out with a sigh. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that this Libra Yin to Yin practice focusing on balance was beneficial to you. Please let me know how you liked it in the comments below and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. I put out new classes just like this one every single Sunday, so if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and then I will see you on the mat next Sunday. Thank you again. Namaste.